Well, as of Monday evening, we officially have our 17th named storm of the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. Now, Tropical Storm Rafael is situated just in the Caribbean Sea, the northern edge of this Caribbean Sea, just to the western edge of Jamaica right now. Winds are sustained of 60 miles an hour, so not too far shy of hurricane status, and a central pressure of 993 millibars, so that is a tick down below the 1,000 millibar mark, a good sign of strengthening with Rafael. So this is as of the 7 a.m. advisory. Rafael still forecasted to go over that western edge of Cuba as a Category 1 hurricane. And then as it treks into the Gulf of Mexico, obviously an area where we typically see these hurricanes rapidly intensify, like Hurricanes Helene and Hurricane Milton down in the southwest Gulf, this is not going to do much intensifying past Category 1 status. Once it moves into the central portion of the Gulf of Mexico, it's going to interact with wind shear, and that's going to inhibit its strengthening as it tries to make a potential landfall somewhere on the Gulf Coast of the United States, and that would be sometime later on into the weekend. So taking a look at our spaghetti plots, obviously still a lot of uncertainty as Rafael does trek into the Gulf of Mexico. The GFS having a little more consensus that there will be a landfall somewhere, maybe from Louisiana all the way over to the Florida Panhandle. That's very similar to what it had yesterday, just maybe a little bit more tightly knit together. Obviously, it doesn't really look like it on that spaghetti plot, but a whole lot better than the European model, which is even having Rafael take a western track over towards Mexico, maybe even the Gulf Coast of Texas. So like I said, this is going to be something we continue to monitor over the next couple of days about where the potential path for landfall will be with this system. But the good news is it is expected to make landfall as weaker than hurricane status, maybe tropical storm status, really just send some gusty winds and heavy rain wherever it does go. So now playing it through future view models, we're going to take it from the center of the storm's vantage point. So right there, the center of the storm, 9 p.m. on Wednesday, is to the west of the Florida Keys. And you can already see that it's pushing moisture far to the north of it here in central Georgia, already seeing our fair share of rain by the time we get into Wednesday evening, and that rain lingering on into Thursday before Rafael kind of stalls in the Gulf of Mexico and then tries to push back to the west according to our graph model as of right now. So let's take it over to future view from our vantage point. And right now, cloud cover building in early Wednesday morning. So this is about the time we were seeing rain as of yesterday's model runs all across central Georgia already. So pushing back on the timing of that just a little bit more so into Wednesday afternoon that we're going to start to see scattered showers all across the central Georgia area. It's more so once we get into the evening hours on Wednesday that we definitely see this coverage all over the area and a couple of pockets of heavier rain enveloped within this swath of moisture. So now taking it overnight into Thursday, the rain still lingers here in central Georgia, and these areas that continue to see heavy shower after heavy shower are going to run the risk for some flash flooding, but this rain really just hangs on around all the way to midday on Thursday. It's not until we get into Thursday evening that we finally see this rain dissipate a little bit and just leading to some mostly cloudy skies as you're heading on home, or rather dinner time on Thursday, and maybe a couple showers still persisting into the overnight hours on Friday. So this has warranted a slight risk in our excessive rainfall outlook. The potential for some isolated significant flash floods is going to exist for virtually all of central Georgia. So this is a step up from that marginal risk that you do see in the light green that is all around us here in central Georgia, further to the north and further along the coast and into the state of Alabama. So this is going to go for Wednesday, going to have to continue to keep our eye on that. And the axis of where we're really going to see those heavy rainfall totals accumulate does definitely look more to the east. This is the GFS is predicted rainfall amounts, maybe some locally heavy amounts upwards to about maybe 4 or 5, even as you take it up to Augusta, forecasting about 6.5 inches of rain. So that's what we're really going to be keeping an eye out on. Otherwise, here in central Georgia, if you're not receiving these locally heavy amounts, we're definitely looking at you to get sufficient rainfall, as we did just end a 36-day dry stretch here as of yesterday, finally recording a trace at the Middle Georgia Regional Airport. Now taking it over to the Euro, maybe not saying above 4 inches, but very, very close to it in some nature, but still hinting at the eastern edge of central Georgia, the eastern edge of the state really going to have those heavier rainfall totals. So the takeaways from Tropical Storm Rafael as of the morning of November 5th, still forecasted to strengthen into that Category 1 hurricane, then weaken as it interacts with that wind shear in the central Gulf of Mexico. Only really forecasted to be a rainmaker here in central Georgia, but we are also going to continue to keep an eye on the risk risk of flash flooding in some areas. Obviously, we definitely do need the rain here in central Georgia, but too much rain at one time is never really a good thing. And also a good reminder that it is the month of November, and as hurricane activity does slim on down as we go into the end of hurricane season, it is still not out of the question to see systems form like Rafael has in the month of November. Hurricane season still runs until November 30th, so until then, we will continue to keep an eye on the tropics.